Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am here to give you my review from TNA from last week. I don't remember what the date was, so when I watch the video, when I start watching the show, I'll look it up. It's on the bottom anyways, but I'll say it when I get there. The reason why I haven't done the video yet is because I've been busy with schoolwork, and my friends came over as well, and I DVR'd it, and the DVR is at this house, not my dad's house, so I have to wait until I come here to watch it. So I'm gonna watch TNA now. I'm gonna watch the all the show from last week. So let's see how TNA was this week. If it was good, if it was bad, let's see. All right, so this TNA is for March 6, 2015, and we have Taz and Josh Matthews on commentary. And it kicks off with the Beatdown Clan. And abbreviated, it's BDC. And that group consists of MVP, Samoa Joe, Loki, and Kenny Kin. And they come out and they say that Drew Galloway's been interfering in their business. They call it BDC business. And they interfered by having them attack them, stopping them from taking out Grado and Al Snow, stopping MVP from winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And MVP and that's what Kenny Kin says. And then MVP gets on the mic, and MVP says that he didn't care that it was Grado and Samoa Joe, Grado and Al Snow, because that was just for fun. But when he cost MVP the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, that was business. And he says that it would have been 1 year since he gained dominance, and the BDC had won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and Drew Galloway took that away from him. So he calls out Drew Galloway. Drew Galloway comes out from the crowd, which I thought was great, and they were in his hometown, so they were really behind him. And they want him to come in the ring and fight. And Drew Galloway said that he came to TNA because MVP to give the fans a voice. And he said that the people here are professional wrestling fans, not sports entertainment fans, professional wrestling fans. I think that was a shot at Vince McMahon and the WWE right there, because that's what Vince McMahon says that the WWE is. It's sports entertainment. And then Drew Galloway, and Kenny Kin had even mentioned too that he did some research on Drew Galloway, and he said that he was called the Chosen One. So that was kind of cool that he said that. And Drew Galloway says he's not just fighting for the guys on the roster. He's also fighting for all these fans out here. And he says that he's going to kick your ass. And he also says that he was going to he's going to take TNA and take professional wrestling on a whole new level. I thought it was great stuff. And then Kenny Kin says you can either get in this ring and get your ass kicked, or we're going to go to your mom's house and kick their ass. And then Drew Galloway says that they'll fight, but he just challenges Kenny Kin. He says to put the other BDC members to the back, and it's just him versus Kenny Kin, and Kenny Kin accepts. So now we're going to get Drew Galloway versus Kenny Kin. So I'm going to watch that match and see how it goes out, but I thought this was a great segment. Drew Galloway was amazing on the mic here, and I loved it. He was awesome here. I thought he was great. And he's just, going to look like a badass. So, yeah, I can't wait to see this match between him and Kenny Kin. It should be good. Okay, so we get Drew Galloway versus Kenny Kin. And before the match starts, the rest of the members of the BDC come out to distract Drew Galloway, and Kenny Kin hits an enziguri on him. And MVP quickly runs in, hits a cheap shot, and then the other members leave. And Drew McIntyre hits a clothesline on Kenny Kin. No, not Drew Galloway. I'm used to his other name. Hits a clothesline on Kenny Kin. They fight on the outside. Drew Galloway actually hits a chop on Kenny Kin right to his back. You don't really see that often, so that's why I mentioned it. And then they're just fighting. Galloway drops him rib first right on the guardrail. And then Kenny King tries to throw him headfirst into the steel post. Galloway blocks it. And then Kenny King tries to charge at Galloway. And Galloway hits like a tilt-a-whirl like slam right on the apron onto Kenny King. That was awesome. And then Kenny King hands up Galloway on the ropes, and he dominates Galloway for a while, and he does the Enziguri again. Galloway kicks out. Galloway does a big boot in the corner. King kicks out. King hits a T-bone suplex. Galloway kicks out of that. Then Drew Galloway starts doing his comeback. He goes for the Future Shock DDT. Kenny King counters, and Kenny King hits a springboard blockbuster, but then Galloway kicks out of it, and then he tries to do a back slide. Kenny King tries to use the ropes for letters, but then Galloway hooks the legs and hits the Future Shock DDT for the win. Then afterwards, the BDC went out and tried to attack Galloway, and Galloway runs off into the crowd before they can get him. And overall, I thought it was a great match. Well, actually, I thought it was a good match. It wasn't a great match. It was actually a pretty good match. I enjoyed this, and it looks. Hopefully, they can use Drew Galloway good to his potential. Because in WWE, that wasn't the case. They used him like crap. But hopefully, Drew Galloway can do good in TNA. Some tells me we're going to get a low-key and Drew Galloway feud for the X Division Championship. But we'll see. But, yeah, let's see what happens next. This was good stuff. Alright, so now Bobby Roode comes out and says that Eric Young cost him the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And he cost him his career. And he said that tonight no one's going to stop him from winning that triple threat match. Well, they call it a three-way. And then becoming the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And then Kurt Angle comes out and says he's going to stop him. He's going to win the triple threat match and beat Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. He actually did call him Bobby Lashley, which I thought was cool. And Kurt Angle says if you have a problem with that, then we don't have to wait for tonight. So then Kurt Angle's coming down to the ring. Eric Young attacks Bobby Roode from behind, just starts beating the crap out of him. And then Kurt Angle has a face-off with him, and Eric Young tells him to stay out of his business. And Kurt Angle says, "You stay out of my business." And then they start fighting. And then Roode clotheslines Eric Young outside the ring. And then Roode and Angle have like a little face-off, and that was about it. I thought this was cool. I thought it was a nice way to build up the triple threat match for tonight. I thought this was fine. And then James Storm is talking to Blam backstage, and James Storm pretty much wants Blam to take out Matt Hardy in his match tonight. And he says that he likes Blam. He likes what he did to Magnus, and Blam says he tells James Storm that he likes what James Storm did to Jeff Hardy, and then James Storm asks him if he has any, then he says that there's always room in the Revolution, which consists of James Storm, Abyss, the Great Sonata, Manic, and Koya. But yeah, he says that in the Revolution, there's always room for one more, and he asks Blam if he has any regrets, and Blam says no. And then Storm tells Blam that if he takes out Matt Hardy for the Revolution, he won't have any regrets. And then that was it. I thought this was all good stuff. It was. I just thought it was good. I like the segment with Roode, Young, and Angle, and I didn't mind the stuff between Blam and Storm. All right, so they play a video with Kurt Angle, and they talk about all the success, winning the Olympics in 1996, and pretty much all of his success in TNA. Now, I already know who wins the triple threat now because they played an ad talking about how something was going to happen on March 20th, so I wanted to tune in and see what it was. And the winner of that triple threat between Angle, Young, and Roode are going to face Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship on March 20th. And they gave away the winner who's going to win it. Like, why would they do that on their show? So it's going to hurt my enjoyment of the main event a little bit, but I'm still going to watch it. Alright, so then, I think then we got Blam versus Matt Hardy. I actually thought this was a pretty solid match. It wasn't great by any means, but it was a solid match. Blam pulls the ref in front of him, and behind the referee's back, he low blows Matt Hardy, and then he hits the they called it something. I'm just gonna call it the Rampage because it's Page's finisher, and it gets the win. I heard something that about Matt Hardy, about his future with TNA. I'm gonna watch that video today. I just didn't want to watch it, but we're gonna see what his future holds with TNA, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it when the next time I do a TNA video. If it's so big, I'll just talk about it. So then Blam wins out that turnbuckle tool, and he's gonna beat Matt Hardy with it. But then Magnus returns. I was really happy to see Magnus, and he returns. He attacks Blam, and he fights Blam outside the ring. And then Blam cuts a promo. Magnus cuts a promo talking about how he had when Blam left him for dead in the alley, he had two choices. He can either go home as a quitter and have his son look at him as a coward, or come back and defend the honor of his son and defend the honor of his fans, and defend his family, and that's what he's going to do. And he said that when he gets his hands on Blam again, it's not going to be about championships. It's not going to be about money. It's going to be about me beating the hell out of you and making you bleed in the United Kingdom. And then that was it. I thought it was a great promo. And now the feud's going to... the feud was good before. I was enjoying it. But now the feud's really going to intensify now that Magnus is back. So I can't wait to see it. And then backstage, Rockstar Spud's talking to Mr. Anderson. And... He thanks Mr. Anderson for helping him up, but he said tonight I gotta end this by myself. And he says he's gonna be a man and call out Ethan Carter III, also known as EC3, tonight. So we don't really know what that's gonna be about yet, but we're probably gonna see very soon. But I thought this was great stuff. The match between Blam and Matt Hardy was pretty good, and Magnus returned, and that was cool. So yeah, let's see what happens next. Alright, so Rockstar Spud comes out, and he said that this past few months has been some of the worst time of his life. His friends have been hurt. I've been embarrassed, but you fans had kept me into it. And he calls out EC3. And EC3 comes out, and Rockstar Spud challenges EC3 to a match that says it needs to end. And EC3 refuses because he's a legend. He says that a man like you doesn't get to challenge a man like me. And he goes to say that he's undefeated and say all that stuff that he normally says. But Rockstar Spud says, I know. I was there when you beat Kurt Angle. I was there when you beat Bully Ray. I was there. I was there for the hardcore American icon. And he said that if you think you can beat, then if you are that good, then face me at a match so I can break your streak. And EC3 is going to accept on one condition. If Rockstar Spud, he says when he wins, he's going to shave Rockstar Spud's head. And Rockstar Spud says, yes, but if I beat you, I get to not only embarrass you, but I get to shave your hair. So then he accepts. And then EC3 tells Spud that in this world, the bad guys always win. And then Spud tells him that when I used to feel bad about myself, and you used to say that I was a lion, I was gazelle. Well, he's not a lion, he's not a gazelle, he's a man. And then this segment ends. I thought this was actually a great segment. I actually do remember when EC3 used to say that kind of stuff, and I thought that was awesome. He would hype him up, and then Spud would just lose immediately. That was funny. But yeah, this match, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm looking forward to this match. It's a match with a lot of story. It's a match with a lot of hype. And I have no clue who's going to win this match. I kind of would like to see Spud win, to see Spud break EC3's streak, but we'll have to see. And then they play a video package for Eric Young, hyping him up. For the triple threat match, I like how they're building up the triple threat match. It makes it unpredictable who's going to win if you didn't see that commercial. I have a feeling whoever saw that commercial, they already know who won. So, yeah, that sucks. But this was a good segment and a good video pack. Okay, so now we have Taryn Terrell defending the Knockouts Championship against Awesome Khan. This was pretty much a destruction. Awesome Khan destroys Taryn Terrell. Taylor Terrell only knocks her off her feet once, but Awesome Kong was just destroying her. She went for the Talon cutter twice, but Awesome Kong counted it twice. And then Awesome Kong was just beating the crap out of Taylor Terrell. And then she shoves the ref, which caused the disqualification. But since the title can't change hands off a count out or disqualification, Taylor Terrell retains the championship. I don't like disqualification finishes, so I thought that was kind of dumb right there. And then Awesome Kong throws Taylor Terrell into the steel steps. She's going to hit the implant buster on the floor. And then Gail Kim comes out, says, "Why don't you fight me right now?" And then they brawl to the back. And then that was it. But I thought this was good stuff. I didn't like the fact that it was off a disqualification. But Awesome Kong looked really strong out there. And I thought that was awesome. So, yeah, this was good stuff. I think they're setting up a triple threat match between Taylor Terrell, Awesome Kong, and Gail Kim for the Knockouts Championship, which I wouldn't really complain about. Alright, so we just got a great match. So now we have James Storm and Abyss defending the TNA World Tag Team Championships against the Wolves, which consist of Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. Before the match starts, at first, the Storm and Abyss didn't come out with the other members of the Revolution, and I was wondering why, but we find out why. Because when the Wolves come out, the Great Sonata, Manic, and Koya attack them from behind before the match starts, so I thought that was good. And then the match starts, the Wolves are kind of out of it, but they're able to fight back for a little bit. I think Eddie Edwards hit the drop kick onto Abyss, and Abyss accidentally DDT Storm. And then eventually the Wolves start going off on him. And then eventually they go to dive on Storm and Abyss. But then the Great Sonata and Manic pull them down behind the referee's back. So then Abyss and Storm dominate Davey Richards for a while. Eventually he tries to make the tag. But before he can make a tag, you don't really see who it is. But somebody swipes Eddie Edwards' leg. So they continue so Storm and Abyss continue the domination. And then eventually James Storm takes a cheap shot at Davey Richards. And then he takes a cheap shot at Eddie Edwards. Then Davey Richards hits it like an enziguri on Storm. And then Abyss tries to cheap shot Eddie Edwards so that way he can't get tagged in. But Eddie Edwards hits the enziguri. Then Davey Richards makes the tag. He starts going off on... he makes the hot tag to James Storm. He hits a cross body. And I thought that was going to be it right there. But James Storm ended up kicking out, so I thought that was awesome. And then Abyss attacks him. He goes off on him, and then they take out Abyss. One spot, let me think. So then the Great Sonata and everyone is constantly interfering. So then the Wolves start going off on him. They go to do like the double knees move off the top, but then... the Great Sonata pulls Davey Richards down, and then James Storm catches Eddie Edwards into a code break with a code breaker, and then hits the Eye of the Storm. But Eddie Edwards kicks out, and then Manic gets on the apron and is pissed about it. And then Matt Hardy comes out during this match, and this distracts Manic. And then Eddie Edwards tries to roll up Storm, and he ends up hitting Manic, but he tries to roll up Storm for the win, but Storm kicks out. And then Storm hits a it's a sick clothesline, I think it was. And then, no, a sick neck breaker, actually, was a neck breaker. And Eddie Edwards kicks out. Then he tags in Abyss, and he tries to choke slam the Wolves, but the Wolves do like a flip to get out of it, and they take out the Storm and Abyss. They send him outside the ring. The Wolves hit dives on the Great Sonata and Manic, and then they hit like 3 dives on Storm and Abyss, and then they do a dive again, but one of the Wolves accidentally hit Matt Hardy because Storm pulled him in front of him. I thought that was cool. And then the Wolves hit big boots on Koya. And then Abyss attacks him. He tries to go for the belt, for the bullrope that James Storm brings out, but the referee takes it from him behind the referee's back. Matt Hardy hits a twist of fate on Abyss. And then the Wolves go off the top and do like the double knee stomp onto Abyss. get the win, and they become the new TNA World Tag Team Champions. I thought this was great stuff. This was a great match. I'm happy the Wolves went over. I didn't think they were going to. They were like the underdogs in this match, so that was awesome. And afterwards, James Storm is pissed and he slaps Koya. I thought that was great. And I can't wait to see what the Wolves can do with the tag team titles again. I thought this was great stuff. Great match and awesome stuff. The match was good because it had a lot of high-flying action, and it had a lot of great tag team psychology, so I really liked that too. Okay, so now we get the main event. It's Eric Young versus Bobby Roode versus Kurt Angle. Winner becomes the #1 contender to the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Before the match starts, Bobby Roode attacks Eric Young. They're just fighting. And then the match starts and Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode are just double teaming Eric Young. Then eventually they start to go at it. And then Eric Young throws Angle into the ring post. And he pretty much dominates Roode from that point on. And then they do this spot where one guy does where Eric Young did the superplex off the top. And then Kurt Angle did a powerbomb to Eric Young. I like that spot. They do it every triple threat match though, but it's still a good spot. Kurt Angle does 10 German suplexes to Eric Young, and then Roode goes for a Roode bomb. They exchange submissions. Angle does the ankle lock. Roode counters into the crossface, and then that's my new Facebook tone if you heard that, by the way. And then they exchange doing that, and then Eric Young attacks him. He goes to power drive Bobby Roode. But then Roode counters into a spine buster, and then Kurt Angle hits an angle slam. Roode kicks out, and then he gets Roode in the ankle lock again. Eric Young attacks him, but then he gets thrown outside the ring. Angle accidentally hits the referee when he was countering when Roode countered the ankle lock, and then Eric Young hits Roode with a chair, and then Angle knocks Eric Young off the apron, hits an ankle slam on Roode for the win. I did like the match. I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more if I didn't already know who won the match. So, yeah, I already knew Kurt Angle won because of that commercial. Technically, it's my own fault for watching that commercial, but how was I supposed to know that they were going to give away the main event winner? Like, come on. I mean, they just gave away who's going to win. Like, you don't do that before the main event. So then Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode shake hands, and then Lashley comes out and him and Angle have a face-off. I'm actually looking forward to seeing this match between Angle and Lashley on March 20th because they never faced off before, because when Lashley was in the WWE, Kurt Angle wasn't already gone, but he was on his way out. And then they just never really crossed paths with each other, so they never had a reason to face off. And now they have and it's two faces that hate each other and that have been getting stuff in between each other's business. Well, actually they haven't, because Angle's been beaten down by the BDC and Lashley's done nothing, and Lashley's done the same thing, Angle's done nothing. So I can't wait to see this match. It's going to be good. So that was TNA from last week. And to be honest with you, this was a good Impact. You had this triple threat match, which I will say was good, even though I only know who the winner was. Drew Galloway was great with his promo, and then he had the match with Kenny King. That was a good match. I like the Knockouts match. I liked the Tag Team Championship match. I thought the match between Blam and Matt Hardy was solid, and I liked Magnus returning. I'm trying to think of something else because I don't really know what else was there. Well, I know, but I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I think that's it. And the Rockstar Spud EC3 promo was good. And I can't wait to see them have the match next week. So that's my TNA review. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll be back at some point in the week to do another one. And if you want to see more TNA reviews or other content from me on the channel, you can click right here and subscribe to me. That's pretty much it, guys. See you later.